providing resources and comfort to caregivers. This is Caregiver Crossing.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is Caregiver Crossing. Thank you all so much for being here. If this is your first time joining us, Caregiver Crossing is a show that is brought to you by Joyce House Adult Day Service, presented in partnership with Cardon and Associates. And we're here with you every week to talk about stuff and a lot of caregiving.
And things.
It's kind of a nice match. I'm Terry Stacy. That's Tina McIntosh.
Actually, I think that's our tagline. We talk about stuff and things.
I do like that. We talk about all kinds of stuff and things.
Yeah. And caregiving. And caregiving.
That is important.
It's true.
Yeah. That's Noah Taylor, too. Noah's producing the show.
All right, listen, talk about producing a show. Noah did not produce this one, but we just got to go to see Wasabia at the Phoenix Theater Culture Center.
Yeah. And that's awesome.
Oh my gosh. First of all, can we just talk about the Phoenix Theater?
Yes.
It's a cool place.
Let's talk about the Phoenix Theater for the whole show.
It's wonderful, y'all. And if you need any kind of disability seating, chairs, special attention, whatever, just tell them when you call and they will take care of you. It is wonderful.
Yeah. The people, the place.
Oh my golly.
And they have some very cool, a nice, a nice kind of different, lots of different and unique shows that you don't find in other places around the city.
Well, this is definitely one. It's a dark comedy about death and dying.
Yeah, Wasabia.
There were a lot of moments. Well, first, I want to say thank you to Constance, who we had on the show a few weeks ago. She's the artistic director and actually chose this play. So thank you to the Phoenix Theater for showing plays that have themes that can connect to our caregivers and aging loved ones. The play was very serious and very funny at times. And
dark funny.
Yeah. Do you want to give a little summary of?
Yeah. I mean, and unfortunately it's gone. You don't have the chance to see it, but you could pick it up in other cities if it's running. But let's just talk about it because it's good for conversation. So there was the protagonist is a woman named Vivian, and she is early dementia, basically trying to manage the control over her future, and she knew what the future was going to be for her. And so it's very controversial because it is about her relationship then with a young hospice volunteer who is also grieving her mother. So there are all these different perspectives on death and dying, and they form a relationship that as the audience, we got to watch and witness. And really what it came down to was Vivian was making a decision to do an assisted death or not. And it is legal in many states across the United States, but there are a certain caveat to it. And the confusion and the hard part comes in real life for us is that when somebody has a diagnosis, you have to be 6 months or less in the states where it's legal. So you have to be on hospice, okay, to take the drugs that will then end your life by your choice. But you can't have a dementia because if you're not of quote unquote sound mind, then they won't let you make the decision. So in this particular play, the conversation was about Vivian, who was not 6 months or less to live and had a dementia and had no one. She had no family, no one in her life. And so this young hospice worker becomes her safe place. And it's a lot of conversations about how do you live your life between now and dead? And do you get to control what that looks like? It was really good.
It was beautiful. I cried, laughed.
What a hard topic.
It really was.
What a challenge. It makes you stop for just a minute to think about that. You know what I mean? Well,
yes.
Put yourself in that situation. What would I do?
Yes.
Who could help me get to the goal that I want, which is to control the end of my own life? Who will be okay with that?
Right. Ethically. Is that the right thing to do?
Is that the right thing to do?
I mean, and in this play, I don't want to give you all of the details in case you get to catch it somewhere, but there were two of the drugs were well represented. And we had Di and,
was it
Vic?
Yeah.
Because it was, oh my gosh, what's the drug?
I thought one of them was Valium.
You're right. It's Val. It was Di and Val.
Yeah,
so Di, I can't remember what it stands for. And then Val is Valium. And there are like 4 or 5 drugs that make up your cocktail at the end of life if you're going to take them. But they were personified. And the women who played them, the way that Constance chose and the director chose to portray them as they were very sexy and seductive. As a matter of fact,
alluring.
We got an alluring.
And again, remember, they're drugs,
comfortable,
right? Yeah.
Relax. I mean, there was one scene where Vivian, the protagonist, was trying to make the decisions, and the two drugs came up, and they were hot, right? And they're sexy little dresses, and they came up, and they took off her shoes, and they put on slippers, and they rubbed her shoulders, and I mean, it was like, oh, I see what's happening. It was brilliant.
Wow.
Now, I guess let's open up this conversation. How do you both feel about what used to be called assisted suicide? Now they're calling it assisted death, or death by dignity, I think is the name of a program.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys feel about it? It's a hard one.
Well, exactly. My faith says it's not my decision, that my time will come when it has been planned to happen. But the other part of me is I've watched so many people, not a lot, but a few that have just suffered till the very end. And I wanted so much for it to be as comfortable as when it is when I have to make a decision about one of my very beloved pets and taking them in. And now, because not long ago, I didn't make that decision. I prayed to God for a cat. This is the truth. And I was like, you take her. I've now had to go, we've gone a couple times now and put our cats to sleep. They're all about the same age. They're all nearing 20. This one is the last one left, and she's suffering. And do I need to take her, or please God, do you take her? And I did not make that move to put her in a car and take her. And I just waited, and it was suffering. And I thought for that decision, I should have been different. For a human being, for myself, it's so much different, right? You don't want anybody to suffer, but your religion, your faith says, it's not your decision to make.
I agree with you entirely.
It's so torn. I'm so torn about this topic. This was in the news with a woman here in the last couple of weeks whose family was not going to let her do this, to make that decision to do it on her own. And it was a terrible, terrible divide in the family, what that caused. But she was like, this is my life and I'm going to do it.
But that's where I sit too. Like, it's not my decision what you do or don't do in your life.
Right.
Noah?
I am very, I'm pro-choice for whatever these people want, but I think seeing the show did bring up a lot of internal conflict to me because working at Joy's House, we see so many guests who have these kind of diagnoses who are still laughing and smiling every day, and I know have so much life, but I think it just brought up a lot of internal conflict for me because I want people to live and die with dignity how they choose. But I just see all of the smiling, happy faces here. And I know that maybe there is a lot of life left for our loved ones.
I wish somebody would just tell us the right answer.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Somebody tell me what to do.
Yeah.
It's just, those are hard. But here's what I appreciate about the Phoenix Cultural Theater or Cultural Center, having Wasabia and having us in, is that it allows us to talk about these things. It's really brilliant. And Badassery Life is a podcast that I get to co-host with Kelly Young, and we got to interview a couple of the incredible team there that was in the production and highly involved. And so you can catch that extended interview that we did live at the Phoenix Theater on Badassery Life, wherever you find podcasts. But for now, you're stuck with us here at Caregiver Crossing. We've got to take a break.
You can find past episodes of the show at joycehouse.org. Be sure to like and follow us on Facebook too. If you'd like to connect with us to discuss show topics, need help connecting with resources, have a question that you'd like for us to answer right here on air, or just want to say hey, you can reach us at joycehouse.org or email Tina at joycehouse.org. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing shortly.
All right, everybody, we're back. Caregiver Crossing, thank you for being here. I'm Terry Stacy, along with Tina McIntosh and Noah Taylor, too, producing today's show.
Central Indiana. Wish TV is now live on YouTube TV and Hulu Live, offering more hours of local programming than any other station. Search for Wish TV or look for CW8 on both YouTube TV and Hulu Live to find us. Watch local news, sports, and lifestyle shows live from Wish TV. You can still catch Wish TV free over the air or stream it live on wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile apps. Wish TV, available in more places for the latest news, weather, and sports.
show. And anybody who has been in a caregiver role knows how quickly things can shift. 1 minute, everything feels very steady, calm waters, and the next you're answering questions you wish you had prepared for. And we're joined today by Jean Ross, who brings both clinical experience and leadership as CEO and co-founder of Primary Record. Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you for being here. What is it? What's Primary Record?
Primary Record is your own personal family health information management system, right? So you know how all of our doctors have EHRs? It is your family EHR.
And what's an EHR?
So an EHR is an electronic health record. Most people know MyChart. That's the most popular one, right? So those are used by doctors. They all have these systems that our information is going into. We're getting access it through patient portals, but if you're like my family, you have probably about 20 patient portals you're managing for everybody. So our system centralizes each of those into one place, gives ownership to that family caregiver that's kind of managing it all. And then they can use that data for their care and advocate for their loved one.
And people end up with all these different portals because they're seeing specialists that are in different networks. Is that right?
Correct. And sometimes even in the same network, they'll notice that things aren't, the information isn't flowing between their different providers. It's kind of been hard to guess. There's actually a study done that showed, between like two similar systems like Epic to Epic, the data will successfully transfer 66% of the time.
Well, that is terrible because we don't know as humans how to advocate for ourselves appropriately, right? And so up until Primary Record, we're just trusting that they're getting 67% of the information and we are supposed to lean into that.
And usually what it looks like is our doctors and nurses have gotten really good at just dealing with it, right? So as a patient, what does that look like? Well, it means, okay, we just have to rerun that lab, or, hey, we never got that result, so we're going to do that CT again. We're not really thinking about that patient and family experience, or even thinking, our doctors and nurses are so busy, they're not even thinking about, why am I not getting that information? And so there's a lot of changes happening at the federal and now the state level that I get really excited about, that Primary Record's at the forefront of, to help families crack into this.
I love it. And your background, just tell a little bit about that.
Oh, so yeah, second degree nurse, critical care down at Indiana University Health. Loved it. I was a cardiovascular critical care nurse, but the revolving door, and I couldn't stand the recurring problems. So then started, my first business was coordinating care for older adults, often with dementia, for about 6 years, creating this kind of nurse-led care coordination model. But I knew it could never scale. We don't have enough nurses. So how do I use technology to scale that with our families and teach them what we learned from that?
And Primary Records was born.
Yes.
And Primary Records was born. So how does it work? If I'm somebody that wants to get this app, or whatever this is online, or where do we start?
Yeah. So to learn about us is primaryrecord.com. We've got, families is who we started with in December of 2023. Okay. What we quickly learned is, a lot of people say, oh, families, they want to own the information. I'm like, no, families are already overwhelmed. Most families aren't, the ownership is a little scary. They want to do it with somebody. So we quickly started working with private businesses out in the community that often had to work really hard to get the information so that they could help support that family. So we kind of have a model where often our families are getting invited by a community business to start their primary record, and then invite that community business in to help support, collaborate, co-pilot with there.
Okay.
But that's not to say we have an ability, if you are one of those go-getter family members, super organized, love tools and technology, we do have a route that families can just go and download. So you can find us in the Apple, Google Play stores, as well as just web. So we're kind of in any format that you need to kind of help log in and get things started.
Yeah. In the news of late, I will tell you guys, there has been stories of families that are trying desperately to get the records of their loved ones in the health community, and they're just struggling. And they reach out to news departments and say, I'm having the worst time getting my records. Yep. And so obviously this was a huge need.
It is. And we solve a lot of that advocacy problem. So like families, a lot of it is going through the patient portal and getting access to that. So we talk a lot about setting up proxy access, helping advocate. I'll be on the phone 3-way with families, talking and walking them through that, whatever that technology rep is at that hospital, getting approval to start that portal. It's just kind of disheartening sometimes how we don't make it easy. It
sounds miserable. That part sounds miserable.
It is. But the value of it is if we can get that started and functioning, and we can get data flowing a little bit more fluidly for families, the power is the ability to see that information and start making decisions. So our system not only ingests that information, it lets family take notes over it. It lets them be their source of truth. And then, of course, in this day and age, you can't do anything without AI. So we have a chat assistant so that if I'm going to a new cardiologist. I can literally just go up my chat assistant after getting my primary record started and go, I'm going to a new cardiologist. What are the top 3 questions I need to ask?
Yes.
And it can then use that information. It can use the notes you're taking, any documents you're uploading, and then guide that family through kind of here's what to do.
Fantastic.
So put it into a real life situation. Like, let's say that Noah and Terry and I are all siblings, and Terry and I are caring for Noah.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? We're overwhelmed. We don't know what to do.
All right.
How does this work?
Which sister's the more organized?
Oh,
and
Terry,
type A?
definitely.
All right.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So Terry would start her primary records. Likely, she probably had you got some kind of partner that out in the community that's like, hey, we want to support you as the caregiver. We have this tool called Primary Record. You get it started. She'll make your dad's profile, and quickly she'll invite you as a sister. So on one profile, now everybody has the same view of what's happening. So we've got that started. We got the family going. There's now a collaborator of a community support business, of a caregiver support. And they're then helping you. Oh, any questions, getting the portal connected. Tina's taken, him to the appointment. You now have coached Tina how to take a note so that now you don't have to be the person to always go because you know all the information, right? Or let's say you've got that estranged brother from out of state that suddenly swoops in, decides to help out.
Always a strange brother.
It is always the estranged brother. And now suddenly he has primary record.
Oh,
and
she said estranged. I heard strange.
It can be both.
And they can have that. And if they're suddenly the one taken in the ER and the doctor's asking questions, they now have a tool that they can answer it just like you, who was usually it's like that one daughter that has to take on all of it. Now you can kind of share that mental load. And also when you're trying to make decisions, oh my gosh, the decisions. It's awful what our families are faced against and trying to. And so having this kind of third neutral AI assistant to kind of bounce ideas and think through, it's been wonderful to see like how families are being supported by that.
AI.
I know.
We keep talking about it and more and more about how it works within the health system, the healthcare system.
I love it.
And I you've got to. This is what it's good for.
Exactly.
It's
a
being
tool.
used for good. Security, though, everybody's worried about right now about security and things that can happen. And this obviously is something that's very secure and only family members and those invited would be a part of this.
Correct. So we layered in so much transparency. So we gave like even a feed. So if your brother claims he didn't see it, you can pull up the primary record and be like, look, I can see that you viewed dad's profile on this day. So we gave a lot of visibility. We tailored, because we're a patient app, I can't say I'm HIPAA compliant. A lot of people think HIPAA is this loose word. HIPAA applies when I go to the doctor's office and I am leaving. It's so that my doctor can't just start talking to everybody, which is also a barrier to care coordination, right? Because that's why our data doesn't follow us. But when it comes to primary record, we are pretty much have the same standards, I just can say. We're monitored by something called the Federal Trade Commission. So I have the same rules. If I have a breach, I have to notify all my customers.
You're HIPAA adjacent.
I'm HIPAA adjacent. I like that term because it's like a hard conversation. Because like when families see us, they're like all those questions, like, is it HIPAA secure? Once I have that, then they're like, wait, if I update my medications here, will it update all my MyCharts? And I'm like, not yet. That's the future. So if you don't know, so the federal government has been way behind this with the caregivers and our aging population. So at the end of March, they demoed for the first time a patient app going up to a doctor's office, scanning a QR code, and my medications, my medical record from all my other doctor's offices can go to that new office. So I don't have to fill out. It's called Kill the Clipboard. How fun is that?
That is fantastic.
So that is happening. It is technically all there. But I'm on the Slack channel with the federal government, which is like the weirdest experience ever.
Yeah.
And it is eye-opening because it is bringing together all the EHR vendors, the payers, it is crazy to see what they're fighting over, what we get through, because at the end of the day, we're trying to make this better for that patient and that caregiver. And that's what just keeps me going, because this is a total slog.
All right, we're going to have to take a break. Jean Ross is going to stick around. We're going to hear more about primary record. Maybe she'll talk more about Slack channel with the federal government, but stay tuned. We'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you weekly by Joyce House in partnership with Cardon and Associates. We're here every week to bring you support, education, and hopefully a good laugh. Visit joycehouse.org to connect with us, hear past episodes, learn more about caregiver support resources and the community, and much, much more. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing.
We're back on Caregiver Crossing. I'm Tina McIntosh in studio with Terry Stacy,
Hi.
Noah Taylor,
Hello.
and Jean Ross.
Hello, everyone.
Jean is the CEO and co-founder of Primary Record. And before we talk a little bit more about that, I just want to say your leadership is appreciated. And I think by people who are hearing you for the first time, they clearly hear how smart you are. And I think they hear your heart, but I've seen you do this and walked alongside. I don't even know now, 15 plus years.
Yeah.
You're an incredible human. And if you say something is great, I believe you.
Aw.
If you say that you're helping represent us as individuals and caregiving families, like it makes me want to cry saying it. I believe you and I trust you.
Well, she's walked the walk too. I mean, she's been
Yes.
a nurse and she's been a caregiver and she's been all the things. And so
Yeah.
she knows, she speaks from experience and she knows what the needs are.
All right, you want to know about rural.
We're going to, and also I know you want to ask about cost and we will do that, but let's talk about those. I grew up in a rural community
Yeah.
in Henry County. And where the nearest doctor, once that doctor left, the town doctor, then we needed to go to another community, and then we're not still in a city. Talk about how this affects those that are in some of our smaller towns around the state.
Yeah, our rural, look at me, rural.
We were talking on break how hard it is to say that word.
It is. I know. Now Tina's in my head. So
Sorry.
yeah, it's all right. But our rural counties, like the infrastructure is struggling. It's, a lot of us are familiar with MyChart, but you get into a rural county, they're going to be buying products for their doctors because their margins might not be as big. They're not as big, right? So, so often what our families are experiencing and our providers they're all on these kind of niche little systems and they're not talking. So the experience I feel like is almost more concentrated out in the rural counties. And that's a little bit of what, there was a lot of political policies being passed around in that Big Beautiful Bill Act. And some of the changes that happened outrose this idea that we do need to provide better infrastructure in our rural counties. And so we're getting a huge investment here in Indiana, and that's what's happening right now. And so I'm in a lot of those conversations and it's very inspirational. Lots of different teams coming together thinking about how, given what we have and lack of infrastructure, lack of different systems, but a lot of great people, a lot of great connections and relationships, but they just need the information systems to better work together so not spending so much time. So that's a lot of the investments going to be going here in Indiana, and it's exciting.
Some of our communities still in Indiana still don't have the internet.
Correct.
They still don't have internet service. It's hard to believe when you see all that we do have, but yet a lot of our little communities, I don't know if it's a lot, but I know there are spots around the state that still don't have any internet connection. Kind of moving behind the times. Those are the things you think about. We definitely need to help those folks.
Well, yeah, and we don't need to get too deep into that, but then people are like, well, they can go to their local library. Well, can they?
Well, can they?
Where's the
And
local
where is the
library?
And do they have
library?
transportation?
And do they have transportation?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
What's their mobility? I mean, like, come on. Anyway, yeah. So let's talk about Primary Record and the cost.
Yeah. So for these two tracks, right? So either families are getting invited on by a community business, and in that case, usually the community business is kind of taking on that cost for families. And
a community, when you say a community business, what does that encompass? What is that?
It's a lot of places. So we're in front of a lot of private care managers right now. We're working with some local paramedic, mobile integrated health cares. It could be adult day. It could be hospice, home care. So if you think about, there is thousands of types of community supports out there who are also on very fragmented information, and they don't always get access to what those hospitals are saying. So we're helping through the patient to direct that information to where it needs to go. So we can be any of those businesses out in the community.
Okay. All right, good.
But yeah, cost wise. And then, but if you are a family, it's like, oh my God, this is exactly what we need. So you go to Primary Record, you're going to see, you can get started for free. What we did just to make sure that we can stay in business is we just put monthly limits on the things that cost us. So we have to we are charged every time families connect that data. And so we give you 4 patient portal refreshes a month. That AI does a cost because we bring it inside Primary Record so we can keep it under control and kind of provide some safeguards. And so we allow you 4 AI questions a month. If you max out on those, you just wait till the next month and you get them all again. So you can use Primary Record for free, but if you need unlimited access to portals, you're in crisis, then that comes down to $16 a month, or if you pay for an annual fee, it comes out to $13 a month for our families.
Okay.
I mean, let's be honest. We all spend I mean, most of us,
but it's
right?
still a cost, Tina, and it still drives me crazy. As a
I know,
nurse.
but
nurses make the worst business owners.
I was going to say, you're running a business and it has to survive, and there's such value. Like the value is,
and that's what we're learning.
Hundreds and thousands of dollars versus, $13 a month if you pay for the year.
Right.
So I get that entirely. And I kind of feel ashamed I haven't done this for someone in my life as I'm sitting here talking with you.
But it's tough because that's what we recognize. And that's why we really started leaning on community businesses, because you kind of got to find those families at that right moment. Because I get lots of people like, oh, I keep meaning to get it started. But it's until you're in crisis that really motivates you to really pull things together.
It's always crisis. And
is.
we talk about that here at Joy's House too, with our adult day side and with our caregiver programs. Like people don't come to us.
No.
They're not. No, none of us want to prepare for this.
No, exactly. And I hear like our industry a lot is like families need to be more prepared. And you're like, no, how about we just meet them in the crisis and make it easier?
Well,
when
that's
they're
like
in
saying
crisis.
that you need to be prepared to lose a limb. I mean, you have
no idea what it's.
I mean, I guess you could say, well, everybody's going to age, not everybody's going to lose a limb, but nobody wants to plan for that. I want to plan for a trip. I want to plan for my next career move. I want to plan for my kids as they're getting older, or for
Yep. Exactly.
I don't want to plan for that.
No.
So
if you are in that crisis mode, how long does it take? How long, the process itself, is it instant? Is it instantaneously you have access once you get the process going?
Correct. And it's dependent on if you've got those patient portals. So if there's one thing that you could do today is if you're being offered a patient portal, it is your connection to information that you need as a caregiver. That's number one. Even if you don't use a primary record, that's my biggest advice is get access to the information that you're being offered and empower yourself with that information.
Okay.
Once you have that patient portal connection, then we are literally, you make an account, you go to our portal, you're going to log into your portal. That gives permission for primary record to download a historical record out. That's the other key of us is your MyChart is only going to show you what the doctor's office says it says. We get the historical record. So it was really fun for me when I downloaded mine. I saw the epidural I got for my 17-year-old.
How far does it go back all the way?
All the way. The stopping point that we've learned is if your health system has changed, electronic health record vendors, because we had a lot of moms, because we have this theory like, they get rid of my data after 7 years, and that's not what we're seeing. And actually, we have a lot of families disappointed because it's like, why did all the data stop at like 2022? And I like go Google, and I'm like, oh, that's when Johns Hopkins switched from this to Epic. So
okay, that's fascinating.
It really is very interesting.
So and we have one big system here in Indianapolis about to change from vendors. So if there's anything I can go do is go get your data, because you have no control if they're going to bring it over into the new system or not. If you want to
do it now.
Do it now.
Okay, tell us again, primaryrecord.com.
Correct.
And you are Jean Ross.
I am Jean Ross,
who is representing all of us in the world of aging.
I'm trying, alongside amazing people like Joy's House and Tina McIntosh.
You're doing a great job. And we're just absolutely grateful for who you are in this world. So
it's a team effort.
It is. Amen, sister. And if you decide to run for office, you let me know. I'll work your campaign.
You got my vote.
Mine too.
All right, Jean Ross, thank you so much. Primaryrecord.com is where you can go get information. And if you need anything from us, need us to connect you for any reason, just email me at tina@joyshouse.org. We're happy to do that.
You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you by Joy's House in partnership with Cardon and Associates. With 20 communities owned, operated, or managed in the Midwest and more than 40 years of senior living experience, Cardon and Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. Visit cardon.us for more information and to find a community near you. Stay put, everybody. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing right after the break.
Did you get me clearing my throat?
No.
At a time when we're going to talk about vocal stuff?
Yeah, right. It's
boy.
okay.
All right. Hey, welcome back to Caregiver Crossing. Tina McIntosh in studio with Terry Stacy.
Hi, Tina Bina.
Noah Taylor.
Hello.
Hi, Noah.
Yeah. So first
Tina
of all,
has something called vocal cortex.
What? I don't. It's not.
And it's in her vocal cortex area.
She's lying.
And it's something that she caught, I think, when she was traveling to Miami?
No,
you got it?
No, it wasn't Miami. I can't talk about my trip to Miami.
Anyway,
Terry
she
is
got
a
the
liar.
vocal cortex.
I just found out that I have something called vocal cord dysfunction, but I don't even know enough to talk about it yet.
Sometimes those things are called vocal cortex.
They're not, but okay. All right.
Speaking of vocal
Can we
cortex,
start over?
Yeah, let's.
Oh my goodness.
vocal cortex. This is a choir at MedStar National Rehabilitation
She's on
Hospital.
Benadryl, you guys. This is what happens.
I've got dry tongue. This is in Washington, D.C. And Noah, you take it from there.
Man, I would love to. If we can just talk about choirs every single day on the show.
He's in the
you'd be
choir.
so
First
would be
time
so
listener.
happy.
You're in the men's barbershop choir.
I love to sing. It is a chorus. It's the Indianapolis Men's Chorus. So I'm always happy to talk about singing in choirs. But this one specifically, vocal cortex, is made up of people recovering from strokes and brain injury. And it's actually built, this choir is built right into their rehab program at the MedStar National Rehabilitation
smart.
Hospital.
It is so smart.
And it's so much fun.
So wait, so it's not just a choir, it's part of their actual therapy that they're doing?
Part of rehab.
Yes.
And it's led by a board certified music therapist.
Led by a board certified music therapist and actually just straight up part of their rehab program.
It's so smart. I'm sorry. It's so smart. I'm looking at the notes you put together for us, and they use rhythm and melody and repetition to support speech, breathing, and coordination. And let's think about that. They're saying most people in the choir are recovering from stroke and brain injury. Like those are critical things. Speech therapy has to be involved with this somehow. Like
Maybe
smart.
so. But
So
just
smart.
the idea of singing, I mean, most of us love to sing.
Yeah.
And that using that and it being incorporated into rehabilitation, it's got to be more uplifting than going and saying, I got to go to speech therapy.
It is. It
know what I
is.
mean?
I'm sure. Like it feels good to be a part
Feels
of it.
good to be a part of it.
Literally, and Noah, help me out here. But the music therapist designs the sessions to target the brain function through music. Like it is. We're going deep.
We're going so deep. And what is really beautiful is at Joyce House, we see this so often that music really has a special hold on people. I mean, we have, in the past, we've had a lot of guests who might be nonverbal, but if you sing that specific song to them, they'll start humming along. And that speech therapy part is so important. In my specific choirs, we do a lot of music that is in different languages. So that's it's almost like speech therapy to me in that way.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that you have to learn to pronounce again after you have a stroke. There's so many words that you have to relearn to be able to speak again.
Well, and I think about like the breathing that comes with it. I mean, you are a singer. Terry and I are not. Is that fair to say, Terry?
I think it's fair to speak for yourself.
Go ahead.
Sure.
Are you a singer?
I never got through the audition process in trying out for choirs. Sure, that happened.
Did you?
But I just have my own way. I have my own special way.
I'm sure that you both have a beautiful voice.
Now, hold on. I need to apologize, Terry. I owe you an apology.
It's okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm
So give us
I
a little
accept that.
tune.
Oklahoma, where the wind dun da 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 dum bum 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 bum.
Oh, so wait, now I'm understanding. It's actually not your voice that didn't get
I'm
you
better
through. It was the
hummer.
fact that you forgot the words so quickly. Is that what the problem was in the auditions?
It's possible.
Okay. Well,
But, I love to hum. I think everybody was given this beautiful voices, and to God, they're all beautiful.
I do agree with that.
And there's no shame in singing out loud. Or I know especially when you're a kid, it's just embarrassing. Oh, I don't want to sing in front of anybody. It's so embarrassing. But it's a beautiful thing.
It's so beautiful.
No matter what.
It
one
really
of
is.
the best expressions. I mean, obviously,
Again,
I'm biased
from the
but
singer.
One of the best expressions, but it's not just an expression for these people. It's truly like neurologic recovery for these people. It is actually clinical work for them to be singing.
Do they perform for people?
They do perform for people. So what I think is really cool is that they have rehearsals, they have performances, and I'm just imagining the loved one with the diagnosis is coming to these rehearsals, and the caregiver maybe gets to stop by and listen to one of the rehearsals, and being able to hear that progress from your loved one. Maybe you were there with them when they recovered from the stroke and they weren't able to say anything, and now they're singing a whole song.
And you have a purpose. And I say it over and over. When we lose purpose, we're done. And so, all right, you asked a question at the top of the show. I'm going to throw it back at the two of you. So it's a similar question. What stands out more here, the therapy side of things or the performance side?
Oh, I would say probably, oh my gosh, it's almost even Steven. I would say probably the therapy.
Therapy?
The therapy. And I would be curious to know if there's been any research done yet that shows that their recovery or their process of getting to where they want to be, their goal, is quicker because they're using this type of a method.
Yeah. Well, that is a great question.
Sure, they're being looked at.
I don't know. That's really smart of you.
Well, just to think about if it's making the process move quicker.
Yeah.
Because they're using things.
Listen, you're not just a pretty voice, my friend Terry. You are.
Much I appreciate it.
We're going to write that down. Noah's going to send it in. I really mean that, though.
I'm going to have to go with Terry. I do think the therapy side is very important. I mean, obviously, it's even Stevens. They're both very important.
Yeah.
But being able to see
silly question.
Seeing your loved one's progress, I think that's the important part.
Is this show over yet?
You know what? Actually, I think we're about done for today. Yes. As we close the show today, we just want to remind our listeners, that's you. You're the listener of Caregiver Crossing.
He really is ending.
That you can contact us for more information and resources to help you through the journey of caregiving at joycehouse.org.
Wow.
And we'd like to thank our supporter, Cardon and Associates, with 20 communities owned, operated, or managed in the Midwest and more than 4 decades of senior living experience. Cardon and Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service.
I'm leaving. I'm going to go beekeep this afternoon.
All right. Well, take good care of each other.